Sometimes you might need a pick-me-up, a push in the right direction, some words that help put you back on track. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast with your motivational moment.
Good morning! Welcome to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. My name is Chris Jaggs and this is your motivational moment for the week. How is the world treating today? I hope you're rocking. Is that a thing? You know, I've never said that actually. I hope you're good anyway, and there's a smile on your face and you're rocking. I'm going to give you another motivational moment this week, which is a kind of continuation of a previous motivational moment with Jim Cathcart, from the beginning of July. And it's totally relevant to you because it will happen to you at some point, but it's also about, how you show up to things. Ryan Estis is going to tell you a story about how one person he met at Starbucks and airport one Christmas time has been logged into his memory for years after the encounter. So, without me delaying this anymore, Ryan, let's hear your story.
It's a simple premise. Relationships precede financial results. That's why a big part of their focus is putting their partners in a position to be successful, be remarkable consistently. And I want to give you an example of this happening. And I think there's a real relevant insight around this story. I mentioned I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but originally I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. And my mom still lives in Cleveland in the house we grew up in. She's a retired school teacher. So every year around the holidays, we all go back and we visit mom. Well, a couple of years ago, I was traveling when my schedule worked out on Christmas Eve. And I thought the airport was going to be a zoo, so I got there a couple hours early. It wasn't crowded at all. So for me, that means Starbucks time. So I get down into my Terminal D, and I see the green sign. And when I travel these days, I always wear earbuds, so I'm rocking out to Coldplay. And I see the sign, I get in line, and there's one woman in front of me. And she's having a very animated conversation with the barista. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but she's kind of waving her arms, and they're both smiling and laughing. So I wasn't in a rush, but out of curiosity, I popped out my earbuds. And sure enough, they're going on about their holidays and their plans and the kids and presents. And she starts to move down the line. So it's my turn to order. And I was greeted with this very warm and sincere welcome. This woman said to me, "Hi, my name's Lily. What's your name?" I said, "I'm Ryan." She said, "Ryan, what can I make for you today?" I said, I want a grande pumpkin spice latte. She said, "You want whipped cream on that, don't you?" I said, yeah, I want the whipped cream. She said, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do." She said, "I'm going to make it extra hot, load it up with whipped cream, sprinkle a little nutmeg on top. That's how I like it. You're going to love it." I said, "Sounds great." She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Cleveland." She said, "Are you going back to Cleveland to spend the holiday with your family?" I said, "Yes." Now, at this point, I start looking around for the camera, right? I'm trying to get a latte at Starbucks. So I move down the line, and the conversation continues, and she's funny. She's asking me questions about my family and our holiday traditions. She's laughing, and I'm laughing, and she hands me my drink and says to me, "Ryan, have a safe trip back to Cleveland. Go create some extraordinary memories with your family. When you come back through the Minneapolis airport, I want you to stop here and tell me all about it." So I get my drink, I start walking away, and I stop and I look back at this woman, and I think to myself, it's Christmas Eve. Most people would rather be anywhere else in the world than serving coffee in an airport. Not her. It was like she was meant to be there. And I couldn't help myself. I had to go back. So I did. I walked back and I said, "Excuse me, Lily." And she jumps around. "Ryan, is everything okay with the latte?" Nice athletic stance, pumpkin, whipped cream. I said, "No." I said, "The latte is perfect. I just had to come back and ask you, what is your secret to making such meaningful connections over serving coffee?" Well, she corrected me. She said, "Ryan, I'm not serving coffee." I said, "Okay, what are you doing?" She had thought about this. And what she told me was, "I'm pouring happiness into people's lives. I said, you're pouring what? Like, what is pouring happiness? And I want to introduce you to her and her definition of pouring happiness. This is Lily Olson on Christmas Eve, a couple years ago. Lily is the shift supervisor in the Terminal D Starbucks in the Minneapolis International Airport. And this is her definition of pouring happiness. She wants to be happy in her life. She wants to be around happy people. She cares about her customers. She wants them to come back. So she chooses, even on Christmas Eve, to smile, to have fun, to help people, to just be happy. I said, Lily, you are awesome. You're an awesome brand ambassador for Starbucks. You want your customers to keep coming back to Starbucks. Said, no, Ryan. No, Ryan. I said, okay, Coffee Yoda, lesson number 2, please. She says, no, I want my customers to come back to see me in Terminal D. And she gets to really important principles of meeting customers where they are in the new economy. And the first one is, instead of just focusing on how to be successful, focus on how to be helpful. When you help customers get where they want to go today, they'll return that favor with loyalty. Optimized employees are more likely to be helpful. The other thing she understands and masters straight away is the very specific and intentional decision around how she chooses to show up, even on Christmas Eve. You know this. A lot of things happen in work and in our lives that are beyond our sphere of influence or control. She doesn't control the weather in Minneapolis. Trust me, I live there. She doesn't control what Caribou does in D8. All she gets to own is how she chooses to respond to those things. Decide how you show up. You know, it's interesting, when I met Lily, and she would have had no way of knowing this, but I was pretty heavy in the heart and had a lot on my mind. My parents, both retired school teachers, married 45 years. About 3 months before that holiday, I got a call from Mom. We got some really tough medical news about Dad. And it was a terminal diagnosis, and we knew we probably weren't going to have a lot of time. So I was sitting in that airport on Christmas Eve, not in the best place in the world. I will never forget that cup of coffee. When you decide to show up consistently as the best version of who you are, it gives you your best opportunity to meet people where they are. And you never know when someone needs you to be your best.
And that was Ryan Estis with his famous pouring coffee story, which has been told many, many times, but it's still so relevant. Now, for me, after spending almost 20 years in retail, yes, I know, I don't know that old, cough, my biggest pet hate was people serving on the till and when they talk to each other. You know, you've seen it, 2 people serving on the till, talking to each other rather than the customer in front of them. You know, the one right in front of them. Even now, still annoys me. But also, probably the worst customer service I ever experienced was at one of the big supermarket chains in the UK. Now, without mentioning any names, but saying every little helps, it went something like this. I put whatever I was buying on the conveyor belt, and the cashier scanned it, processed it all. Yes, that was it. No acknowledgement, no eye contact, not a grunt. I tapped my card to pay and had to take the receipt off the receipt printer myself. It may as well have been self-service. At least I would have got to smile that way. But then you get the people that make it something for you to remember. Anytime I've been eating out, if the waiter or waitress makes a kid smile or laugh, well, I remember that. And, you know, maybe they will do when they're a bit older. But the story just now from Ryan, the story shows how simple it can be to create a meaningful connection with others. It also reminds us how we show up in our daily lives, as it's always up to us how we appear. Whatever you're doing today, try and make yourself the best version of you. Do whatever it is you want to do, but do it to your best. If you show up each day, and I mean, you know, really show up, fully engaged, committed to the task, well, you're setting yourself up for some real success there. And when you find it, you'll know it. Now, if you'd like to look up the story on YouTube, you can find it simply by typing Pouring Happiness, and it will appear for you a couple of different versions. Speaking Conversations. When are we going to talk? Just you and me. If you want to have a rant and rave, or you want to iron out some issues that's been just niggling away at you, I want to hear from you. The calendar at ldlcool.com. Jump on it. I'm waiting for you. And hey, I'll even fix my hair up too, if I had any. Let's talk soon and get your big plan going. And I will see you in the next one.
Thanks for listening. You can find more motivational moments at learndeveloplive.com. And we'll be back to inspire you again tomorrow.